Facebook EdgeRank is a very interesting concept. To explain that, let me start with some simpler, simpler understanding. So earlier, when Facebook started, or not started, but in the earlier days of Facebook, maybe a couple of years back, a year back, some of us would have had a few friends out there, a few brand pages which we liked, and so what happened was when we went to Facebook on our wall, we would see updates from all of our friends, all of the different brand pages which pushed out updates, maybe in a chronological way. So some earlier ones would come earlier, the latest ones would come right up, but pretty much almost everything showed up. Now as we started connecting with larger number of friends, as we started liking more number of pages and applications and whatnot, suddenly there were a lot of updates which were coming on our wall. A lot of friends who were putting out their updates, a lot of brands who were putting out their updates, and if Facebook had to continue to show all of them, it was a fairly cluttered space. And then again, as users, we didn't like all of those. So we didn't like some boring stuff which kept coming our way. And so now if I have a wall where a lot of updates are there, there is a lot of stuff which I don't care about. Now what does that make me as a user think? It makes me think, oh, Facebook is so boring. The reality is that our friends are sending boring stuff, or our brand pages which we have liked are sending boring stuff, but Facebook is showing all of that. Now, in order that we don't make Facebook the villain as a user, we don't think Facebook sucks, but actually maybe some of the updates are not so good. Facebook decided to be active about it and play a role in giving you content which you are most likely to connect with. How does Facebook decide what you should see? So it had to come up with some kind of a way, some kind of an algorithm to make a choice of all those updates which your friends and which your brand pages and others are throwing out, which one should show up on your wall and which one shouldn't. That was what's now referred to as EdgeRank. So how does EdgeRank work? And essentially, EdgeRank is the way Facebook thinks about prioritizing those updates which land up on your wall. And it thinks in terms of three key factors. One factor is what we would call as a proximity. What's the nature of connect you have with another friend or with a brand page whose update you are getting. How does Facebook know about the closeness? It's not that your wife or your boyfriend or your girlfriend it's not about the relationship. It's about how you engage with the other person's updates. So if a friend has thrown an update and every now and then you feel it worthwhile to comment on it or like it or share it, Facebook reckons that you like this person's updates. Similarly, if a brand page has been sharing content and every now and then you feel it worthwhile to comment on it or share it, do something about it, engage with it, Facebook reckons that you also have a connect with that particular brand's content. So that's closer. On the other end, if there are some friends or your relatives or others whose content you do nothing with, it just passes by in your eyes and you don't even connect with it ever, then Facebook reckons that you don't really connect. It's low proximity. It's not so close to you. So that's one factor. The one where you engage or connect with the more, that's given priority. The second is what Facebook calls as the weight of the update. Now, what is the meaning of weight? A plain text update is the least in weight, whereas if there is a link associated with it, if there's an image associated with it, or if there's a video associated with it, it's heavier as it goes. Facebook also has found that people seem to connect with images better than plain text. People seem to connect with videos better than even images in a sense. And rightly so. Like if a fascinating video link shows up on our Facebook wall and it says something, there's a curiosity, there's an interest, and we click on it and we see the video. So we seem to connect as users a lot more with richer content than with just plain text. So the second factor that Facebook takes into account is the weight, the video being one of the heavier weights and plain text being the lightest. The heavier the weight, the more priority. The third factor is the timing. So if somebody has put out a content that India won this match or Federer beat Djokovic or whatever, and if that content is old, you don't really care about it because you'd already heard about it through other means. So the older content in general has less engagement than new and fresh content. So the time of the content, the closest, the earliest, the most near one being the higher weightage is the third factor that Facebook considers. So a kind of a combination of the three factors, how close or how engaged you are with the particular content or the particular source, what is the weight of the piece of content, and how early or how most recent the content is. These three factors put together generates a edge rank factor for a piece of content, and the higher the edge rank, the more chances of that content showing up on your wall. So if on your wall, if you are seeing 20 pieces of content at any point of time, they have made it out of the thousands which were out there from your friends and your brand pages and all. Those 20 have made it on priority because they weighed higher in the overall edge rank.